Hi, welcome back, Smart Financial. I am welcoming Mar Ramirez today. Hi, Mar.
Hi, how are you?
Mar is really inspiring. You're going to hear a great story about someone who's created a whole new life for herself in Hartford, Connecticut, who came from another country and developed a business. It's very, very exciting. I'm so happy to have her. And in fact, in honor of Mar sort of being with us today, I have behind me all my Smart Financial books, which have all been translated to Spanish, because guess what? She has a large Spanish-speaking population. So I think we'll take a few minutes first and get to know you. So, Mar, give us a little bit of your life story. How did you end up in Hartford,
Well, as you know, my name is Mar Ramirez. I'm the CEO and founder of Loyalty Insurance Marketing Group, and the the reason I came here, it was because I was for vacation, believe it or not. The father of my kids, he told me, let's go to Connecticut. I have my best friend lives there. We're gonna have a good time and whatever, whatever. So yes, I came for vacation, and I remember that I started asking questions because I'm very, very curious person. So I started asking questions, and I said, hey, how is the paycheck here, the jobs and the opportunities. And people were telling me great stuff about Connecticut, right? And I was like, so why don't we, I told my ex, why don't we do a resume? Let's just go to a library. I'm going to do a resume for you, and we're going to go and to 20 different places. So we dropped resume to 20 different places. So the first day he got a call, an interview call for the next day, and he got hired right at the spot.
Good news. That's
And
good.
so yes, I said, hey, stay here because I have my babies there. My daughter at that time, she was 2 years old, and my son was one. So
And this
let
was
me
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico. Yes, I was
Puerto
born
Rico,
and
right.
raised
I
in
want to
Puerto
sure
Rico.
remind everybody. So you basically you started this whole odyssey in Puerto Rico, right?
Yes.
And at that time, you were not in the insurance business, not in the financial world. You were a mom in Puerto Rico with a 3-year-old, right? And what's interesting about this story is some of you that follow me on the channel, you know I grew up in Connecticut. I don't know who goes to Hartford on vacation, but whatever. I grew up in Connecticut, and I think well, Hartford's wonderful. And Mara and I were talking recently when we met. My son went to Trinity College in Hartford. I've been back and forth to Hartford so many times. But this is a very interesting transition for you. So now all of a sudden you pick your life up from Puerto Rico,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And you decide to migrate to what used to be called the insurance capital of
Of the
America,
world. Yeah.
right? Or the
That's
world
right.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me now, what year is this?
I'm sorry.
What year was that?
It was back in 2004.
Okay, good. All right,
2004.
so pick it up from there. You land in Hartford, Connecticut. It's 2004. Your ex gets the job. All that stuff's good. Now what happens?
Yes, exactly. So I saw a huge need in our Latino community.
Okay.
So a huge need, underserved community. They didn't have the tools, they didn't have the information to make an educated, decision when it comes to retirement plans, Medicare, and life insurance. So I saw a huge need. And that's when I started studying to get the life and health license to be able to help the community, with those products. So, but the thing is that I started as a captive agent, and I was not too happy, and because I represent more the company than the community, and I'm like pro community, there's something missing here. Let me explore to become an independent agent, and that's what I did. And I remember the upline that told me, no, I don't want you because I was with another
Yeah.
agency that he did not like. All of a sudden, he saw me on the CE, which is continuing education
Yeah.
class. It was about ethics, and he liked the way that the answers that I was telling the instructor and whatnot. To make the long story short, he told me, hey, I know you. Are you Mar Ramirez? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know you. So he was the one who told me, if you show me that you do the right thing for the client, no matter what, I am going to tell you what to do to open an agency. And here I am.
So that was your mentor. So it's interesting. I will tell you. So for those of us that have been in the industry a long time, and for people that are watching this, Mar passed the intelligence test, and the intelligence test is that all of us, by the way, everyone I know starts in some sort of a what would we call it? A career company or an employment or that silo of the financial industry are people, and they're not bad people, but they work as employee agents of Hartford Travelers. They work for Fidelity. They work for their employer, and they have one job. Their job is to represent their employer. Those are the rules. If you're paying
Mhm.
somebody, they represent you. However, we like to always say in our firm, we were independent before it was in. Okay. And so around here, we went independent in the 1980s because we could see, like you, to do the best thing for the consumer, the client, the customer, whatever, you had to have a broad array of things to do. So Mara, now you become independent, and you're working like crazy and you're a broker, and then you started your own agency, which means you're independently contracted, and then did you bring other people in to work for you under your umbrella? Tell me about that.
Exactly. I was going crazy how busy I was because of the need for
Yep.
the Latino. And I was knocking the doors of every, senior housing, community health services. I was also trying to recruit or partner with providers and things like that. And I couldn't do it by myself. So that's when I started recruiting other advisors, other agents, like, so they can come on board and have the same vision that, that the agency has, which is, being loyal to the community needs, not the insurance company, educate people before sales, right? And really give a personalized service. As you can see, Latino are well known because we're very caring and we take care of our grandparents and our mom. And if I have to take care of the whole family, I can, right? So we are very caring when it comes to how we treat and how we educate our Latino community.
This is a really big question that I want everybody else to get their arms around because it's interesting. I just talked to a very ethnic family this morning, and they are living here in greater Boston area, and they have their 95 and 94-year-old mother and father living with them. And they actually are, in their 60s, and they've got like an autistic 30-year-old son. I mean, their life is full. However,
Mhm.
among ethnic families, and again, I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. I grew up, and again, we joke about this. I mean, my grandma never spoke English. I mean, my whole family came from Italy and Sicily, and she was in the back bedroom a lot. I mean, that's kind of how it was. But that's changing now in the Latina community. Tell me, is that family care thing changing because of the way life is changing, or does it still exist?
Well, it still exists in Puerto Rico, but when I came here, I was like a little shocked because I don't know. It was like, yes, there are, kids that take care of their mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I started the business 15 years or 16 years ago, but nowadays, I don't, well, at least in Connecticut, I don't see that
Okay.
at all, at all.
So, in other words, the people that, even though culturally in Puerto Rico, they believe in family, three generations, multi-generational care, when you transferred that cultural experience to New England, right?
Uh-huh.
Hartford, Connecticut, all of a sudden, what changed was they adopted more of a sort of what I would call a non sort of ethnic cultural thing where we use institutional care, we pay caregivers, we have, and basically you substitute money for family. I mean, that's what happens, right? Hence,
Unfortunately, yes.
hence,
Uh-huh.
so does that mean in your community that people realize that they have to get life insurance to protect their family and their grandparents and long-term care insurance and Medicare? Was that what drives the need for insurances?
So I believe that I believe it's too expensive. I mean, people are not prepared financially, and it's impossible to stop what you're doing to provide financially to take care of their grandparents. So I'm thinking it's not because they don't have a heart in here in Connecticut or New England, is because stuff in, for example, I'm from Puerto Rico, the long-term care and all of that in Puerto Rico, it's very, I don't want to call it cheap, but it's not, I mean, it's very affordable.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking.
So the economic
It's a
picture
money problem.
changed. Okay,
Huh?
so the economic picture changed for people, Latin American people who end up in New England have to have a
Mhm.
reset, a mental reset. So kind of going with that, tell me, when you and I met originally, we talked a lot about this. Do you feel like education, financial education, is like the number one job you have to do in your community?
Yes, because we are spenders, especially the Latino, they live in the present,
Mhm.
the today. They don't think about the tomorrow. So the financial literacy in New England, especially, for the Latino community, is like taboo. I mean, they have no clue how to do a proper retirement planning. They don't know about uh, Medicare rights, right? A lot of them, they don't even have life insurance. And if they do, they have the wrong type of life insurance or not enough coverage.
Yeah. Interesting. So education is number one, which I got from you. And in fact, it's interesting that you say that because I think every piece of literature written about money things and financial things, I mean, it starts with the fact that education is power. I mean, you need to have the education first. And that's what you do as a company, which is great. The second thing is, I think that anybody would ask, in this sort of new immigrant society. I know that my parents came over with all those people through Ellis Island, the Italians and the Irish and whatever, and they were really like hardworking scrappers. But
Mhm.
it's hard for me to picture how people can come from Puerto Rico and being able to buy a home in Simsbury. I mean, really. I mean, the numbers are scary, aren't they?
Yes. And again, is financial literacy. They are not educated. They just educated, like I remember, still my grandmother, she didn't get education. She all she cared was like work, 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 work because she thought that just by working hard, it was enough to provide. And here I am. I'm still taking care of her. I mean, I don't mind, of course, but what I'm saying is that you see that a lot here in New England. That not having the information on how to start a business. I remember when I was a little kid, I want to have my own business. And I was asking my mom, I was asking my grandparents, I was asking my father. They didn't have any clue. I had to figure it out myself, right? So I think education followed by action is power, and that's what they don't have.
Okay, so this is really important. So, and it's a real sort of milestone for I think your community to have you there doing education, education, education as a start. Now, the second part of this is, of course, we're hearing a lot about AI and technology and all stuff. People getting like so much junk information because it's like info with a fire hose. I mean, and yeah, and it's very difficult. I cannot imagine you being replaced by a robot. It would be one
No.
hell of a robot. That's all I can say. Right. So when you're thinking and you're hearing about these things, I'm sure you're using technology in your business, to do some back office work and all that stuff. But I don't think that AI is ever going to replace your like individual touch, especially, and let's talk about the language barrier, because I will tell you, having worked in a few different communities, I've told you when we first met that my son's godparents are Brazilian, and they speak Portuguese and all that kind of stuff. And translating financial terms that sound logical to us in the business, things like, surrender charge or
Mhm.
expiration date. It sounds like you're going to die. I mean, some of these things, okay, have to be, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's
have,
true. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
true. Like we have to be very cautious because the language, and again, even for, people whose English is their native language, that doesn't mean they speak financial. They get really
Yes.
tongue-tied, right? So has the fact that you're bilingual allowed you to create, helpful translations of financial terms to people who've never heard them before? Has that been good for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Being bilingual has helped me, tremendously. Not only because, you know, my Spanish speaking people can talk to me in their language, right? And I always say, I'm going to explain you whether it's Medicare, life insurance, or retirement planning. I'm going to explain you like if rice and beans, like simple. So
Yeah.
that way you can understand me. But the same way, right? The same way for English speaking people, a lot of this terminology they don't understand. So I am explaining them, in simple terms, how money works or how Medicare works or what different types of life insurance are and things
This
like
is a
that.
very real thing because I will tell you, I've interviewed a few people in the Medicare industry around the country, and we're in the Medicare industry too. And even for a person whose native language is English and who's
Mm-hmm.
been here their whole lives,
Mm-hmm.
Medicare is a very complex thing. So I'm sure you work with a lot of people because I know you're very active in the Medicare business, right? And
Yes.
it's an ever-changing business, absolutely impacted by not just a person situation, but who's in office and politics and changes in legislation. I mean, it's an ever-changing thing. So, how much of your time do you spend with people trying to explain that this is what Medicare is today? But it doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be in the future. I mean, are people from Puerto Rico used to everything changing for them every year?
Well, as a matter of fact, people in Puerto Rico, believe it or not, 90% of them, they have Medicare Advantage plans. So, and their Medicare Advantage plan, their benefits, even though this year the benefits reduced, they're amazing. They have very, very good coverage. Now, like my mom, I remember doing Medicare. So I was telling my mom, hey, be careful, make sure that the plan that you choose, the providers are within the network, the maximum out of pocket, the donut hole and things like that, which we don't have donut holes anymore, but,
Yeah.
and things like that, so she could make an informed decision. So yeah, I mean, at least I like to take a good time with people, explaining first from A to Z what Medicare is, right? The different components of Medicare, whether it's what is a Medicare Advantage versus a Medicare supplement, and things like that, so people can make an informed decision. And again, Medicare is very complex. It's like
Oh yeah,
like
it's
learning a language,
it is
really,
another
pretty
language. In
much.
fact, that's why I brought it up. I mean, it's so difficult. A lot of our seniors, around, it's just a very difficult topic for them. And in fact, I think they get aggravated that things change every year. They like to do one and done, set it, forget it. That's it. But that's not true in Medicare. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Let's talk about young families because this is exciting. And I know I follow a lot of data points. USA Facts is a big one, run by Steve Ballmer, who was one of the founders of Microsoft, and we use a lot of his data in our research. I will tell you, Latina families are having a lot of babies. That's what I read, right? Is that true?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's been like that for a long
you
time.
guys are, I have to tell you, it's a wonderful thing for America. And again, this is my belief that the immigrant population is a really, really big economic engine, to everyone in America. But one of the big, big things is that you culturally in the Latina community bring a lot of family first, family first, family first. And you start families young, much younger. I just read a statistic, and it actually came from Warren Buffett about how all the economic conditions are pushing the years forward. So people aren't getting married and having babies at 18 or 20. They're waiting until they're 30. And that 10 years pushes out what they call family formation, and a lack of family formation. Getting married, having babies, buying a house, all those things is kind of hurtful to the economy. So do you see a lot of young people in the Latina community getting married young, having their first baby, coming to you for their first life insurance? Do you see a lot of that?
I see. I see a lot of young people that not marry and have kids. I see a lot of broken family
Oh,
that
that's too bad.
unfortunately, yeah, that unfortunately, they have kids, when they're 21, when they're 18. So I see that a lot. And I've been seeing that since I think I'm 18 years old, just yesterday, right? But yeah, so I see that a lot, but it's been like that for a long time. So I'm shocked that they just came up with that because it's been like that for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, my my grandma, she has like 12 siblings,
Whoa.
but now my mom, the generation of my mom had only two. I only had two.
Oh.
So I don't know. So I think it's based on the I don't know where you're from actually.
Yeah, so interesting. So my wife's grandma had 16 children up in Cape Breton,
Uh-huh.
Nova Scotia, right? So let's talk about opportunities. All right. So a lot of things are changing in the economy, and so for people in the your world, your orb, do you see a lot of economic opportunities, jobs, employment, ways that they can make great living and support their families? Is there a lot of economic opportunity in the greater Hartford area?
Definitely. I
Good.
came to Connecticut. I moved to Connecticut for one reason, and it was to live the American dream. Okay. So everything is possible. My English is my second language, as you can hear
Your
me,
English is
I
pretty,
have an accent.
it's better than my Spanish, but go ahead.
As you can hear, I have a strong accent, so it doesn't matter. I mean, there is always opportunity. For example, here at my agency, we're constantly recruiting people. So, but what happened is that a lot of time people don't want to make the sacrifices or pay the price to be successful or to better their lives and stuff like that. So the opportunity are huge in here, and especially in Connecticut. Everywhere there people are hiding, and they pay, and are really good jobs. So yeah, so the economic to have a better life and the opportunities are endless here in USA. You can make it. You
And
can live the true. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
tell me about the millennial generation of people, which they call the most worried generation out there. The people that are in their 20s. I mean, do you see them in your community struggling with like here's the three big things, and you can tell me how you handle it when you're talking to people that are in their 20s. The three big things. Number one, buying their first home. It's such an issue getting the money together and getting started in the home buying business. Number two, is like education, cost of education, college loans. This is such a big worry. I mean, I actually met somebody, this will knock you out. I met somebody whose daughter is graduating from dental school. She has $650,000 of college loans to get through school, get through that, to become a dentist. And you wonder why it's so expensive to have those beautiful teeth you have, right? Right. The dentist, 650,000 education. I mean, it's crazy. So home buying, right? Cost of education, and then, healthcare. I mean, healthcare costs, even forget Medicare because Medicare is for the 65 and over. But boy, the cost of like my son-in-law, I think I told you when we met Mar that my 41-year-old son-in-law had a heart attack, and he and my daughter went through the whole process. And I have to tell you, thank goodness for great medical insurance. So
Mhm.
tell me what the young people, and I'm talking now about not the seniors anymore, but tell me what the young families worry about the most in your world.
Um, After money, right? Because everything, evolves with money, right? So and you were right. You are absolutely right. So I'm gonna give you an example. My daughter, she's 23, and she has, friends that are in the 23. So she's working with me,
She's
helping me build the
she's a
business.
millennial, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the majority of her, of her kid, of her friends, they have debt, like huge debt. It's like
Yeah.
like a mortgage debt,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just,
absolutely.
to get a college degree.
Yeah.
And the paid, I have people that, she has friends that moved to Florida, and I think she's going to live forever, and she's not going to be able to pay the debt. That's how huge the debt is for student loans. Um, I've seen people also struggling to pay their mortgage, because it's not only the mortgage, it's insurance, is, the emergencies that, if something breaks in the house and things like that. Property taxes here in Connecticut is huge, so I think it's because they don't um manage well, they don't plan well. And that's when they get in troubles, and then you were telling me something else. What was the other thing?
Well, healthcare, the cost, number
Oh,
one,
sorry.
again, and I only say because I just went through this with my own family. My daughter lives in the state of New Hampshire, and I mean, we're very fortunate in New England. We have great hospitals. My wife's big sister was a hospital CEO in Canada. She worked all over Canada and ran hospitals everywhere, Vancouver and et cetera. And she always says, when you get sick on vacation, have the ambulance take you to the airport. You have the best medicine in the world, right? But it's not inexpensive. So in Connecticut, do people have access to reasonably good health care costs? I know they changed the subsidies and all that stuff. For a young family, can they get into the Affordable Care Act medical reasonably, or is it outrageous?
It is outrageous. It is outrageous,
Outrageous.
especially this year, with all the changes and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, a lot of people, they don't even have health insurance because they cannot afford it. I mean, there's no way it's either health insurance or I eat, or I have a roof. So you're right. So they struggled with student loans, debt with
Yep.
debts, student loans, mortgage because they didn't plan well, and then having health insurance, it's very, very, very expensive. And it's, it, and like I said, people need to also live below their means. So because sometimes it's people that don't know how to manage the money.
So that's a really good, that's the point that I'm going to interrupt you because I think in your education, Mara, do you actually teach young families how to manage their money? Is that one of the things you do?
Yes, well, I educate them to, and I tell them straight up, you need to live below your means. I did it. I remember I had my business for 10 years, and you know what car I used to have? A Toyota Corolla. It drove me well from A to B. It
Yeah.
was fine. That, and then when I built the business, I invested in real estate. That's when I was like, okay, you know what? Now I want to have my dream car, which is a BMW. So right now I'm
Okay.
driving a BMW. But yes, so yes, I teach them how to manage the money,
Good.
how
Good.
to,
Great.
but with budgeting and stuff like that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Tell me something about what's coming up for you. All right. So it's 2026, there's a lot of changes. I mean, it's a big political football, taxes and all this kind of stuff. How do you help people prepare for retirement when there's so much in that millennial sort of age group? I mean, they don't even think Social Security is going to be there. So there's a lot of negative information about Social Security. So I know my 40-year-old daughter, she doesn't think she'll ever get a Social Security check. So how do you counsel them? Do you use insurance products to guarantee them some sort of retirement? Tell me about that.
Yes, exactly. So what I do exactly right. So I offer insurance products and strategies, because it's not about the product, it's how you structure it, how you design it,
Yeah.
and how you plan it, right? And so I help people with strategic retirement planning. So with guarantees or with protection from the downturn from the market. I always say don't put everything in, one egg in one basket. So, but part of the portfolio, I always tell them, hey, have this financial product. Like for example, a lot of people don't know that an advanced whole life product, with high cash value, if it's properly structured, it can be a very good financial vehicle for retirement. So I also work with annuities and stuff like that. So it all depends of their financial goals, and if he needs more, because I also say also you need investments, right? So I help them with everything, and based on their need, that's what I recommend.
Yeah, that's right. So it's really interesting that you say that because the products of today, and again, I'm a bit older than you are. You can tell by the color of my hair, right? Okay, so the products of today are so much better than the ones that used to exist, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in the insurance and
Mm-hmm.
risk management area. In fact, there's a wonderful white paper that was just written. So I went to American College. I got my CLU there, and I got my financial consulting degree there. And there's a guy there named Wade Pfau, Pfau, Wade Pfau, and he wrote a wonderful paper about how life insurance and annuities fit into an asset class that pretty much everybody should own at some time in your life. When
Mm-hmm.
you're young and you have children, and the big risk is that, the breadwinner dies, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. So mom and the kids can get some support. But after you start to build up some net worth and you start to build your asset puddle, what you call the pie, you don't put everything in one basket, and you have some risk management tools. And insurance and annuities provide that. They have guarantees. They're not like being in the stock market. They're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Correct.
supposed to balance your portfolio. So if everything is in the market and the market goes down, what keeps you afloat is your fixed things, right? So this is actually a very sophisticated asset allocation story that's only become better in the last 10 years. The products today are killer. They're
I
like a
know.
Swiss Army knife. Death benefits if you die, cash value if you need to borrow money, retirement income that's tax-free, long-term care, some policies pay if you don't die and you get sick. I mean, it's really, really, really good. And so being independent, you can help people pick the right product. Products, I
Correct.
will tell you, have gotten very, very sophisticated. It used to be a very simple industry. My father was in the industry in Meriden, Connecticut.
Oh,
He
wow.
was he was a debit insurance agent that used to go around collecting money with a little book, 5 and 10 cents. Yeah,
I
that's that.
heard that.
That's
Yes.
what he did. He did that after he
Okay.
came back from World War II, and he fought in the Philippines and he fought in Okinawa and all these terrible places. He was so happy just to be alive that when he came back and they gave him a piece of paper, they said, "Go collect 10 cents from every one of these people for these little tiny insurance." He loved it. He
Mm-hmm.
loved it. He lived out his life as an insurance professional in Orange, Connecticut. It was great.
Oh, wow.
So Mar, tell me, so now that you're bringing people into the business, right? And this is a big challenge in our industry. It's like a lot of industries that can't excuse me, young people. They all want to be computer engineers. So where are you, yeah, where are you finding young people to go into your business? Because the president of the unions tell me they can't get young people. The presidents of companies that are trying to recruit laborers can't get people. Where are you finding your young people to go into insurance?
As a matter of fact, social media. Yeah, in social
Ah,
media, I do a lot of content, educational content and whatnot, and about money, insurance, and also about businesses. And I truly believe this is a great business. You barely invest, when you want to start, when I started, I didn't invest, all I invested it was in my, in the course, because I have to study, also the life and health license, error and omission, and gas. Because with this and by talking with people and stuff like that, little by little, that's how I build. Now I have an agency, but before, it's with like this. What I don't know, $500. You can start a business in the insurance field, and also the residual. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a great career. I love it, and I the thing that I love the most is that I'm not alone. I have a group of team helping other people.
that's really great. So yes, it is a service business that does not require a lot of money up front. But you actually bring people in, and again, I'm going to go back to this, what I call young people. So you're
Mhm.
bringing people in the industry, and they need them under 30 years old, right? So you're
Correct.
bringing people in as their first career, their first business, their first sort of enterprise.
Yes, and the way that and I love it because they are more energized, they're more eager to learn, and they love money, and they love money. So yes, and the thing is that in my firm, in our practice, we have a system that I created, and I teach them from A to Z what to say, what not to say, how to present this, who to prospect. So if they follow through, they're successful. So, but I like to work with them because they're very energetic and whatever, and very good students. So whatever you tell them, for those people that are eager, they are great assets. They're great. They're very
But you
great, and
should
they
never,
fast learner too.
yes, and you should never be shy about being successful. I actually had the opportunity one year. My father was very successful in the insurance industry, and he was speaking at Radio City Music Hall in New York. And he was a top performer in the Million Dollar Roundtable and all this kind of stuff. So he became, and he owned two agencies, New Haven and Meriden, and he got very successful. Anyway, so he had bought himself a new Cadillac. And he was an Italian immigrant, and his dream always, forget BMWs and Mercedes. No, he wanted big, beautiful black Cadillacs.
Oh
Anyway,
my
right.
God.
Anyway, he was
That's
like
so
a, he was
cute.
like a, he was a mafia wannabe guy. Anyway, so my father Salvatore, very ethnic, right, had a really success, and he got criticized by a family
Really?
member. Now, sometimes if you're the one in the family, a big Italian family, right? If you're the one in the family that shows up for Sunday dinner and you got the big black Cadillac, right? Right. My father was always really quick. And I'll give you his line. You should never be shy about being successful. And he had a very good line when one of my uncles criticized him a little bit. He says, I make a lot of money because I help a lot of people.
That's right.
Right? Right,
That's
Mark?
right.
You help a lot of
100%.
people. You're not dabbling. You're not part-time. You're not like going home at 2 o'clock and watching daytime TV. Right, right. Because I know you work hard. So you should never be shy. People in the financial industry, they think we golf all day long or something. I don't
Uh-huh.
know what. Right,
No,
right.
no way.
But I know you make a lot of money because you help a lot of people. And
Mhm.
that's the equation, right? You're helping tons and tons of people. I think, in fact, you told me you had something like 2,000 clients on the books or something
Uh,
at Loyalty.
the agency has 20,000 in the books, the
Wow,
agency.
20,000. And how many reps?
50.
50 reps.
We
Great.
have 50, and we have also agencies as well that we have
Okay.
partnered.
Great. Okay. So that's a lot of people to help. Okay.
Hmm.
Good. All
Hmm.
right. So I'm going to wrap up in the next few minutes. I want to make sure that we hit all the topics. I want to make sure everybody knows who you are. And
Okay.
by the way, for people that want to reach out to Mar, of course, it's Loyalty Insurance. And we're going to have all your contact information at the end of this. Our producers are really good about putting out all your contact information, email and phone numbers and social
Also,
media.
we're off the recording. Okay, okay, okay. I was like, okay, I was getting confused. Okay, I got it now. Okay, okay.
No, no, I'm actually just like wrapping up my
We're
little
wrapping
story.
up. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're wrapping up because I want everybody that's listening to know that you're going to be very easy to find. And what we do in our firm, anybody who appears on one of our podcasts, right? If they reach out to us at Smart Financial, we put them in touch with you because that's our goal is to help everybody else, right, get successful in the financial industry. And you've got a great story. I mean, you have a great story. So I think
Thank you.
that people will get a kick out of this. And also, I think I've interviewed some very inspiring women, and you might have seen some of them that started over again at 40, single moms, people who started with nothing. The daughter of a bus driver in Worcester, Mass, who's now the dean of Texas Tech University, right? You have a very inspiring story. So you should encourage every person who has $500 to start a business, right? I think
Yes.
that's a good note, right? Every person who's got a few dollars, but the energy and the drive to be successful, you can do it, and you can do it ethically by helping a lot of people reach their goals, right? I mean,
Correct.
right? That's what you do for a living.
100%.
Right.
Hmm.
So I want to thank you for showing up today, taking some of your super valuable time to hang out with us. And I know you're going to get a lot of people that will probably reach out to you. And I hope when we're all done and you use this little broadcast to promote your good mission that you're doing, I hope you get another 20,000 clients, right? Well, not all at
Amen.
once, not all on one
Amen.
day.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
All right. I want to thank you,
Amen.
Mar. And I want you to wave goodbye to everybody. And the team will wrap it all up.